one relates to the Innerplex building. So we are interested in building creative clusters. When we talk about creative clusters, the key element is to depend on or to rely on knowledge intensive and innovation as drivers. Innovation and knowledge as drivers. So the PDC 62 million ringgit Innerplex building is the first step towards the convergence of talent, technology and tolerance, which are key elements of a creative cluster. Now you want to do a creative cluster, that means where brain power, creativity would depend, of course, that you have enough people who are innovative, you have enough people who have the knowledge to think of new inventions. And if you want to establish a creative cluster, three important elements are critical. What we describe as 3 T's. First T, talent. Second T, technology. And the third T, tolerance. You can find this in all the literature, in all the academic literature, economic developmental theories on creative cluster. So talent, technology, and tolerance. And when we talk about tolerance, that means they are able to accept new ideas. I think it also requires freedom. There must be freedom to allow new ideas to grow and to germinate and grow. So I think it especially when you have that freedom, a very important prerequisite is that they must not fear to think. They must not fear the government. So there's no fear. There's no fear, you're free from fear, you don't fear the government, tolerance, then you can allow creativity to flower. So the 62 million ringgit Innerplex building built by PDC, I think how many years after 2 years?
Less than 2 years.
18 months. 18 months. So 18 months to build. It is our first step towards the convergence of the 3 T's, talent, technology and tolerance. You all know about the free trade zones in Bandar Pass, opened in 72, 1,400 acres, over 40 years of experience, supported by the Bayan Baru Township, 3,600 acres, looking at 5,000 acres around the area. And the FTZs in Bandar Pass has attracted many world-class players. And in 2005, Bandar Pass was accorded Cyber City status by MSC Malaysia, hence providing the next impetus of growth for multimedia-based companies. So Penang is focused on sustainability so that we can remain competitive in the long run. With the 40 years of industrial development behind it, the Penang State Government recognizes a need to revitalize and rejuvenate the Bandar Pass Industrial Park and Bandar Bayan Baru model with the following objectives centered on the creative cluster development model. Number 1, to maximize land utilization and productivity. Number 2, to develop new international grade A buildings and office spaces to meet demand of investors. Number 3, to upgrade industrial park to world-class standard. And number 4, to incorporate and integrate, invest, work, live, learn and play environment. And finally, to establish creative clusters combining the 3 T's of talent, technology and tolerance. As I mentioned earlier, 3 T's. This revitalization and rejuvenation project also aims to upgrade the industrial and business park to cater for higher value investment jobs. It's in line with the launching of the IT People Hub on the 1st March of 2014 for Penang to move up the value chain and become a high income state through attracting creative industries, focusing on knowledge intensive and innovation drivers. The joint venture deal valued at 11.3 billion ringgit with Temasek Holdings of Singapore signals a renewed confidence in the future prospects of Penang. Whilst talent and technology is universally accepted, the tolerance of ideas is essential towards the establishment of a creative cluster. Penang State Government has recently completed several such development projects. The most recent one is a 62 million ringgit Innerplex building on an 8.3 acre plot in Phase 4, developed by PDC, Penang Development Corporation, to house Motorola Solutions R&D operations. Completed in June this year, this state-of-the-art 7-story facility has a total built-up area of 193,795 square feet with 1,200 car parks. The purpose of this facility is to consolidate the operations of two sites previously occupied by Motorola, thereby helping to increase Motorola's operating efficiencies and keeping their costs low. PDC expects the cost incurred to be recovered back in 10 years through leasing arrangement of this facility. The sole tenant is presently Motorola, and the company leases the facility from PDC for a period of 10 years. This rental is RM2.50 per square feet per month, with an incremental 3% per annum. Each car park is leased at RM30 per lot and has an incremental rate of RM2 per annum. Now, following the return of the previously leased 4 acres Techno Centre and 50,000 square feet in Mylang Mall to PDC, there are plans to rebuild the Techno Centre site into Grade A industrial and business building and to rejuvenate the Mylang Mall development. So, the Techno Centre and the 50,000 square feet, which is 50,000 square feet in Mylang Mall, was previously leased to Motorola. So, Motorola moves into the Innerplex building. Innerplex is a short form for Innovation Complex. So the Innerplex building is taken over by Motorola. The site that Motorola vacates returned back to BDC, and that's why we are building or rebuilding this Techno Centre into a Grade A office space. Another development is the Osram Skills Development Centre with 28,000 square feet, building customized for Osram's Training Centre Phase 1 in 2010. These projects assist investors to be asset-light and provide the incentives for them to grow their operations in Penang in the long run, especially in bringing higher value job content to the local sites. To incentivize the local SME, PDC has also developed the SME Centre from piece of land left vacant in Phase 4 into 166,000 square feet of building to house local SME startups at preferential rental rates. Depending on demand, SME Centre 2 may be initiated to cater for more SME technology-based startups. So apart from the plans to build the Techno Centre in Mylang Mall, we have also developed the Osram Skills Development Centre that was already completed in 2010. And we also have completed the SME Centre. I think we should have done the opening also in Phase 4. So if necessary, we will build the SME Centre 2 also in Bayan Baru. Now, we are planning to redevelop the current Mylang Mall car park into Mylang Mall Phase 2 Business Centre, making Bayan Baru Township a fully integrated live work play development that has close proximity to modern facilities and the airport. The success of the creative cluster development model will facilitate wealth and job creation. I think we've got a short slide if you want to present. Can we watch the presentation there?
Okay. Presentation and presentation is for both actually. Okay, as mentioned from the Chief Minister just now, these are the objectives of the revitalization. I reiterate, is the need to revitalization is to maximize land utilization and productivity. As you can see, if you walk around Bayan Pass, you will see that because developments have been taken place 40 years ago, sometimes it's quite irrelevant in terms of density, in terms of built-up space. There are still a lot of buildings that is of one story, very sparse and kind of space. So we are looking at how to actually to inject more floor space. So we like Innerplex mentioned at CM just now, is a 7-story building, meaning that we are going to the maximum. That is the maximum height that we can go because of the floor, because of the flight path. So in fact, if we can go and pack more floor space, we will do so. And maximize utilization productivity, develop international Grade A enterprise space to meet the demand for investors, incorporate integrated for live, work and play environment. And also the objective is to upgrade industrial and business parks to cater for higher value investment in jobs and incentivize existing investors to sustain and grow operations in Penang. Example, Motorola. It means that Motorola now is not asset or heavy in the assets, but actually they are renting lease out so that they do not have huge assets that they are keeping, but they are putting a lot in their operations in terms of the value in operations. And with a long lease, that is also one way to keep them or to retain them. I think this method is actually being looked into by many investors also. So this is a good starting point to see how actually we can retain talents and creating more values to the land that we have. Because initially, Motorola actually owns that building, owns the land. But then we actually buy back at a very reasonable price. Then we actually produce more spaces for them within that space that is allowable. So next, okay, there are 3 projects that has been completed as mentioned by CM just now. Okay, this is the one that is we call it the Innoplex, the Motorola Solutions. The whole building is actually in-house Motorola's operations, mostly for the R&D works, and they are, so it's easily 600-700 engineers to be housed inside there. Would be more than that, in fact. So this is the building, quite imposing buildings that is there. The details these are Osram skills that was already we completed in 2010. Initially, this site it was only a 1-story bungalows, or rather 1-story complex, SME complex. So we put up a 3-story, pack the area and maximize it. We cannot go any further because of the height limit as well. This is already completed. This is the SME center, also completed to house all the SME operations. We also go to the maximum. It's a 3-story, but it tapers down at the back because of the height limit. We cannot go high at the back, but it go high in front. So it was designed to maximize it. All right. Those are the 3, but these are the new projects that we are thinking of. If you look at, this is the completed. Okay, this is the completed Innoplex. This is what we call the Innoplex 2. We will have to house a very huge car park at the back to cater all the needs of the workers there. So we are embarking into this, all right, another 227 square feet. When we see that we have proposals coming in, right, we will embark on it. This is where the Techno Center is now currently. Motorola will bought this building because they are going to move into Innoplex. So this building is available. So this is a very precious land here that we will actually develop into this new Techno Center, we call it. Also about 7-story in height, right? So this research area, these are for a lot of service sectors, a green building, right? So very imposing. We're going to do this next. Okay, next one. This is what we call the SME Center 2. With the uptake of SME Center 1, we will build this one, another building, to cater for the SME operations. We are planning to do it maybe and complete it in maybe 2016. SME Center 2. And this is of course BPO Prime, where it's been launched in March this year. Sorry, going back now. Actually, this building sits on where PDC building site of PDC building. This is where it sits. So PDC will have to vacate this piece of land to add value to the piece of land. This is what the development is going to come about. This is a joint venture with Temasek on this project. And okay, when Motorola vacates Mayang Mall, the opportunity for us to come up with another Grade A buildings will be here in Mayang Mall 2. But of course, this will be of a much later stage. We reckon possibly by 2019, because we need to complete the BPO Prime first and look at updates, and this will follow suit. So this is another imposing building right in the middle of Bayan Baru. Okay, this is the BPO Park in Bayan Lepas that was launched also in March. This is for the huge BPO Park operations in Bayan for over the 74-acre site that we have already identified. These are the dispersals. To note that see, the greens are where most of the residents are. You can see a good quality of residences coming about along in Bayan Baru area. So there are a lot of various categories of houses that can actually provide a lot of good residentials within the short distance of Bayan Lepas Industrial Park. Right, you can see the radius that is. You can see that radius there. You can see another radius there. That is also within just 10 minutes of drive. You can that's the concept of work, live and play. Is apparent there actually. Okay. Right. These are all the amenities that is supporting Bayan Baru. We have the spice, and we have all the amenities, schools, international schools. We have got golf facilities, international golf facilities, all within the range of 5 to 10 minutes. And these are the support services that is already in Bayan Baru. So we reckon that this is a conducive area, or we need to rejuvenate and link it up between all the good amenities. We need to create a good linkages between all these facilities that is available. All right. Okay. This is the industrial park in Bayan Lepas, where all the now added value services will be housed. You can see the proximity between the industrial park and the Bayan Baru town. I think that's about all. Thank you.
Any questions? We have got the main focus in this creative cluster. Creative cluster where I think this is the way forward for us, not to be only reliant on existing industries, and to build a creative cluster, as I mentioned earlier. You must have talent, you must have technology, and you must have tolerance. And we feel we have the talent, we feel we have the technology, and also now we have tolerance. Tolerance of new ideas, tolerance in the sense that you all need those talents to come here, need not fear. You don't even have to fear the government also.